So word has come out now that Jacob Trouba is hurt for 6 to 8 weeks, which is major news for the Winnipeg Jets on two fronts. One, Jacob Trouba is a top two defenseman in ice time for Winnipeg. He has been a major part of this team. Two, if there's any lingering, maybe he wants out of Winnipeg, maybe they can trade him, that's gone now. Because this injury will take him right through the trade deadline. So there won't be any major moves made by Winnipeg except for maybe getting a rental. Trouba's a guy that I'm kind of on the fence with. I don't know. You know, you get asked all the time about what a player's ceiling is, and you hear guys talking about what a player's ceiling is. And I don't know what it is with Trouba. I know when Boston was connected to Trouba, and there was a lot of talk about, hey, maybe the Bruins are going to offer. And people would mention, like, DeBrusk, a first rounder, and something else. And I'm like, wait, no. No. I think if he ends up moving, somebody will overpay for him because they usually do for defensemen. But it'll really test the strength of that blue line. Is Winnipeg going to be able to absorb this loss, maintain their spot? Now, Mark Scheifele is supposed to be coming back soon. Mark Scheifele coming back would mean they'd have an extra forward. Could they trade out a forward to get somebody on the blue line to fill in until Trouba's back? Sure. But the marketplace for defensemen, and I've mentioned this before in the primer video I did for the trade deadline, I don't think that the defensemen that are out there right now are long-term solutions. They're available because either they're slower, they're older, they're more expensive. There's reasons that defensemen are available right now, and it's not because they're really, really good and they just want to share how awesome they are with other teams. That's not how trades work. Just taking a quick look here, I've got all the defensemen with top two ice time written on the board for tomorrow's previews. I'm getting ready for tomorrow's previews because remember, I'm going to the Canucks and Avalanche game tomorrow. Injured top two defensemen just on the board right now. I knew there was a few. And yet when I'm looking at it now, I'm like, nope, they're healthy, and they're healthy, and they're healthy. The one that surprises me is Osterley with the number 2 in ice time on the blue line for Chicago, but of course Blackhawks fans will tell me that's not a surprise. And yeah, Trouba's right behind Byfuglien. And I know Winnipeg fans have been kind of not happy with me for for a while now. Because I talk about how I don't know that I see them as a Stanley Cup top 5 or 6 team in the NHL. Where you are in the standings doesn't necessarily mean that your postseason is going to be fantastic. I know from experience as a Canucks fan, Dallas, Boston, I can count many times over the years where I've watched a team that I cheer for finish first in the division or second in the division and look really good, and then in the playoffs it just falls apart. I'm not saying that'll happen to Winnipeg. Don't read between the lines. I'm just saying that regular season success, playoff success are different. When a team hasn't played a significant playoff series, for these guys in Winnipeg, they have the one series in Winnipeg where they got swept by Anaheim, and then for some of them, they were part of and I'm thinking, Byfuglien? Was Byfuglien there at the time? No, that was before the Byfuglien trade. When Atlanta got into the playoffs and got swept by the Rangers. And of course, Atlanta really loaded up at the deadline that year, feeling that this was their year. They won their division, and ultimately it just fell apart for them in the playoffs. This injury with Trouba, how the team comes through this, with what they've done with Mark Scheifele, and tomorrow as well, Michael Hutchinson is supposed to be the starting goalie. There are a lot of reasons to look at Winnipeg right now and say, well, you have a glass half full, glass half empty. Either they're warriors, they've battled their way through these injuries, or they're snake bit and they're continuing to battle injuries. So it really depends on how you look at it. It really does. And for me, I'm neither. I just look at it and say, they're doing well, and Trouba being out is going to hurt them, but how much? And that's the question that I have. How much does Jacob Trouba being out hurt? His 20-plus minutes on the blue line, where do those go? Who ends up playing on the point? Who takes his spot? And how much of a downgrade is it, or is it going to be a downgrade at all? Those are the questions that are going to have to be answered now by the Winnipeg Jets blue line. And for their forward core, if they get back Scheifele, does that then leave somebody out of the lineup that Kevin Cheveldayoff can then dangle and get another defenseman to come in and really help absorb the impact of losing Jacob Trouba? I'd be interested to know what Jets fans think, or Jet fans in general. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video, and hey, thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.